Hi, I'm Becky.
I'm Susan.
I'm Avery.
I'm Joey.
I'm Dip Boy. And we're
The
Lab People.
Scientist Susan and Dr. Becky are going to show us the fins.
So this first fin up here is called the first dorsal fin. The big ones on the side are called the pectoral fins. Down here we have the pelvic fins.
This is a second dorsal fin, because it's the second one. And these is the caudal fin.
Dr. Becky is going to show us the pelvic muscles.
Alright, so here, the clear part is the ceratotrachea. Inside is a pelvic depressor. And surrounding the pelvic depressor is surrounding the pelvic adductor, and up here there should be a hard bone, and that is a pubosciatic bar. And in here we have the cloacal opening.
Scientist Susan is going to show us the gill.
Hold on the fin.
So these pointy parts at the end of the gill, these little things, are called the gill rakers. And the frilly part right here is called the gill lamellae, something like that.
Yep.
And then usually on the outside, like on this part, there's the sepal constrictors. You can't see them very well, but it's there. Inside the gills, we haven't opened it, and there are the gill rays, which are behind the gill laminae, and also.
Yeah, you can kind of see them.
Okay.
Nice.
And the interbrachial muscle are like kind of the parts between the gill rays.
Okay.
Surgeon Avery here is going to show us some muscles.
All right, so first we're going to start off with the adductor mandibularis, which is basically the masseter, aka the frog blood. Next, you have your dorsal constrictors, which are underneath here. These are on top of the gills. They're like this general vicinity. Next is the linea albia, which is basically like the pectoral muscles. They're right here. And next is the pectoral levitators, which are back there, kind of like this muscle right here. They're kind of on top of the fin, levitate the fin. And next is the ventral constrictors, which are under the gill right here. And yeah, we kind of have them covered. You can't really see them all that well. And next is the coracorealis, the bow tie muscle. So it's kind of right here. We have a really bad one. I don't know. And then next is the intermandibularis, which is kind of just like this general vicinity up here. And next is the coracoid bar, which is here. It's like this gray thingy. And next is the pectoral depressors, which are these muscles here. Scientist Susan to show you the digestive system.
So first, let's start with the livers. These big two tongue-looking things at the side of the shark.
Yep.
Another liver is this tiny one up here. This is their liver. And right below the livers, you can see the gallbladder. It's this green part attached to the liver.
Yep.
Right next to it, you see this yellow, tube. And this yellow tube is called the bile duct. So moving away from the livers, we have this big pink. It's kind of spiraled. It's a spiral, it's the spiral intestine. And up the spiral intestine, you feel like a ballish ball, like a ball feeling, I guess, right here. It's hard, and it's called the pylorus of the stomach. If you keep going down here, this is our fundus of the stomach right here. And then we go to the actual stomach, this pink, flat, inflated part. And on the stomach, you can find the cranial part of the stomach, which is up here toward the top. And then the fundus part is this big part attached with this behind. And from the stomach, we can see this gray, like grayish colored piece, which is called the spleen. This is the spleen. And back to the spiral intestine. Above our spiral intestine, you can see this kind of pink flap right here, which is our pancreas. This is our ventral side of the pancreas. And then when we flip it toward the back here, oh God, this is our dorsal side of the pancreas.
Yep.
And from the pancreas, here we go. From the pancreas, you can see this kind of tube that connects right here, which is our pancreatic duct. So So as I mentioned, this is the cranial part of the stomach, which means toward the top, and between the sort of like the esophagus and then the cranial part is our it's the rugae of the stomach. Now if we move down here, the spinal intestine's right here, and if we go down toward here, that's our rectum back there. And this pink, bright pink thing is called our rectal gland.
Scientist Susan to show us the spiracles.
So the spiracles are right above the eye, that's our eye, and it's a hole right next to the eye. And there are those ones right here. So the parts of the spiracle that you should know is the incurrent aperture and the excurrent aperture. The incurrent aperture is this sort of outer flap right here, and then our excurrent aperture is the one inside the spiracle. Something else that you should know about the external part of the shark is if you see on the shark, there's this sort of indented line that's just naturally there, and that's called our lateral line.
Just the way to show us the reproductive system.
Here is the uterus, inside is the yolk sac, and over here is the ovary, which is located underside of the liver. Here is the oviduct. Along here connects to the uterus and the ovaries. And inside here is where the kidney is located, about the spine area.
Susan is going to show us the heart.
So right under our coracoid bar is our heart, and as you can see, this sort of grayish part, those are our ventricles that you know, and this large blue flab right here, right hugging the heart, is our atrium.
Here are the coronary arteries. Here is the sinus venosus. It's a small little bubble of a sort on the underside near the ventricles. And then there is the conus arteriosus, which is the weird little aorta-looking piece above the atrium.
So, as we mentioned, these are ovaries, okay? And this sort of bluish area, the thing that connects the two ovaries, this bluish area, that is called the mesovarium. Now, if we go back down here by the urinary system, if we keep going down, it's in between the cloacal opening and in here, and that is the urinary papilla.
Susan's going to show us the veins.
Okay, so the first one we can see right here is our cranial intestinal artery. It's the one attached to the spinal intestine, and then if it starts climbing down here, and it becomes the caudal intestinal artery and vein.
Artery?
It's right next to the gallbladder.
Yep.
So right under our lateral line, you'll see this huge blue line, and that is our lateral abdominal vein.
Here is the gastric artery and vein.
It's on the stomach.
In here.
So right here, when we see this red, this pinkish color right here, that is our caudal mesenteric artery. And now let's move over here by the spleen. So by the spleen, if you see this red little red line.
Artery.
Yes, it's an artery. The red artery, it's called the lineogastric artery.
Up here is the dorsal aorta. It is the red inside of this area here.
This is the spine of a shark. So this top part of the shark, the pointed part, that is our neural spine. And the sides of it inside, the sides back here, that is our neural arch. And then this first dot right here that I'm pointing at, this is our neural canal. And then the big one, the most obvious one right here, is our centrum. The caudal artery canal is the top one. It's not very distinct, but like the top one of the dots, that's our caudal artery canal. And the one below the caudal artery canal is our caudal vein canal.
Did you already say the neural canal?
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do.